General contractors have been a huge advantage in the real estate market. Some of the richest people in the world are general contractors, like Donald Trump, who is both a GC and a developer. A general contractor can look at a raw piece of land and know where to find and understand geotechnical reports regarding the soil. They know how much it will cost to bring utilities to the site. A GC can give you a complete breakdown of the month-to-month cost associated with the development of the land and the construction of the building. A GC can look at a renovation project and determine the total cost to construct because a GC knows how much each line item costs per square foot, and they can quickly estimate the costs to renovate. Most importantly, a GC can look at a set of drawings and determine how much it will cost the client to construct the exact building on the exact property. Naturally, with all these advantages in the real estate market, most large general contractors also own and develop commercial and residential real estate for themselves. In this video, we want to cover a few of the properties that MACNAK Construction has designed and built and still owns today. We are going to cover the various ways MACNAK was able to generate equity throughout both the buying and building process. This covers only a few of the properties MACNAK has developed and retained, but they will still help explain the ways a GC can generate equity for themselves or their clients. In February 2014, MACNAK purchased its current office property at 12802 Bridgeport Way Southwest Lakewood, Washington, for $158,000. The property is 2.2 acres commercial, but it was misadvertised as residential. MACNAK purchased the property at the residential price and then closed access from True Lane, a secondary street, to Bridgeport Way Southwest, a primary street with over 30,000 cars per day. The property is elevated 10 feet above the adjacent Bridgeport Way traffic, giving it a prominent position for traffic visibility. The site is phenomenal for any number of commercial activities. MACNAK constructed a state-of-the-art 7,000 square foot office with a 2,000 square foot basement made out of insulated concrete forms. The offices have a gym, Xbox bar, lunchroom, 2 break rooms, lounging center with 6-foot overstuffed beanbags, and we're adding a VR exercise rooms for those windy, rainy Pacific Northwest days when going outside for a walk or a round of golf is not suitable. But on the VR headset, game on. MACNAK constructed an 80-foot by 120-foot steel building for storage and equipment and has parking for all 40 of our vehicles and trucks, as well as multiple excavators, backhoes, skid steers, and trailers. MACNAK constructed the building and office for $1.2 million. The entire property is valued at over $4 million current market value. In May 2014, MACNAK purchased 15 acres in Gig Harbor, Washington, and constructed a 5,000 square foot insulated concrete home and a 3,000 square foot insulated concrete shop with several outbuildings and a quarter-mile asphalt hardball driveway, with 3 ponds and 2 seasonal streams also constructed to control the water flow off the property and not destroy the nature paths, and the practice field constructed. What's important to note about this property is the procurement process. This property had been clear-cut and was covered with splash piles 30 feet tall all over the property. The logging company that had done the clear-cutting had pulled a Department of Natural Resources permit to cut the trees. That DNR permit put the property in a 6-year building moratorium, preventing anyone from developing the land, rendering it less valuable. The logging company had purchased the property for $130,000 in June of 2013 and sold it to us for $69,000 in May 2014. He didn't care about the loss of the sale because he had harvested the timber and sold it on a high market for $400,000. He had already made his money on the timber sale. MACNAK used its equipment to clean the site, and now void of the trees, the site was suitable for construction. But what about the 6-year moratorium? There is a little-known single-family dwelling exception to the DNR permits which, if approved, allows you to purchase that 15 acres and develop 2.5 acres without waiting for the moratorium to elapse, as long as the people applying for the permit were not the ones applying for the single-family dwelling exception. So, we found a piece of property with the DNR permit pulled and recently clear-cut, and we lowballed them. That 15-acre piece would sell for $750,000 today without any development. $69,000 spent, $750,000 gained on the land alone. In 2018, MACNAK purchased 18418 State Route 302 Northwest Gig Harbor, Washington, a 1.5-acre waterfront property for $54,000. The property had been delisted for several years, and when MACNAK reached out to the original listing agent, they agreed us to sell the property for the original asking price several years prior. We constructed a 2,000 square foot insulated concrete home for $400,000, which is used as a rental and valued at $800,000 current market value. This property was perfect for our ICF buildings due to its close proximity to the highway, and ICF quiet interior due to the wall thickness of the concrete. The rental is very busy and enjoys rave reviews for its interior design and simplicity. All three of these buildings were nominated for design awards at the World of Concrete in respective years. January 2014, MACNAK purchased 543822 Amachi Road, Kapau, Hawaii, a 1.1 acre site, the 20-foot road setbacks not included in 0.55 acre description, for $80,000. The property is located on the main street of Kapau, Hawaii, on a historic Hawaiian village on the Big Island of Hawaii. Kapau was the original birthplace of King Kamehameha I. MACNAK purchased the lot from a bank which had acquired the property through a bankruptcy. MACNAK approached the bank in December 2013 with a cash offer contingent on 2-day response. We had identified 2 properties that would both work for what we needed, but we wanted to close by the end of the year. The bank accepted MACNAK's cash offer in the 2-day period. The real benefit to this property is the fact that it is the only private piece inside of Omachi Road and the main street. There's a 20-foot setback inside of Omachi Road which cannot be used by anyone else, as well as a 40-foot setback along the main street, resulting in 1.2 acres of usable land inside of those roadways and completely unusable to anybody else. A 1.2 piece on Main Street would cost over $1 million, but we don't pay the cost of $1 million because it's not taxed as 1.2 acres. It is taxed as 0.55 acres.